What's good, everybody? Romero 17, and yes, this is UFC 5 gameplay, and I'm going to be dropping a series of tutorials for y'all throughout the duration of this game cycle, and I'm going to be helping out a lot. So if you guys haven't seen the title, this is going to be about the transition-based subs and a couple of things that you guys may or may not have missed out on the beta, and a couple bit of mind games I'm going to show y'all as well. So one of the biggest things with the transition-based sub system is depending where you enter from with the submission will depend how strong that it's going to be. So if I were to clinch Islam Makhachev here, right, boom, and I go for the guillotine, right, and I drop down, this guillotine is not that strong. It's only rated a 1. In comparison to if I were to enter from, say, full guard, that guillotine is going to be much harder to kind of survive through, right? Because that one's a little bit higher on the scale. So keep that in mind when you're playing the transition-based subsystems, that not every single submission entry is going to be as strong. It all goes by the positions, right? So the first thing that everybody should really know when it comes to the transition-based system is going to be the sub entries, right? So let's say it doesn't matter if it's a guillotine, triangle choke, armbar. We're going to be covering every single position. And we're going to be covering what are the tells when the opponent is going one direction, how to deny, and we're also going to be going over the cooking system and how to use that in, say, high-level gameplay. So we're just going to enter, say, the guillotine, right? We enter this guillotine. Obviously, the sub bar pops up. That pretty much tells you that you're in the TBS system, the seamless submissions. So there's only two ways for the person attacking the guillotine what they can do, right? I can either go and try to finish the guillotine, right? Or I can try to go down the mount. So the up transition is always going to be the sub finish, right? Every single time you deny up, it's going to be against the sub finish. If the person is going down, they're using the TBS system to transition into a better position. As the person who is escaping, you're going either left or right, right? Those are your two options based on where you need to go. And depending on the submission, depending on the momentum, how you get in there, some sides are going to be a little bit faster than the other. Now, one mechanic that's kind of confused a couple of people here is the cooking mechanic, right? So essentially speaking, the cooking mechanic is by holding R1 and you drain the other person's stamina. If you notice though, we drain each other at the exact same rate. And a common misconception with the cooking system is that, well, if I get down this guy to 0 short-term stamina and I just get him all the way down here and then I go and I attack this submission right away, he's going to be able to, he's not going to be able to survive. But let's look at that. Why was it that Islam Makhachev was able to escape even though we both had 0 short-term stamina? That is called timing and racing the transition. So when you're in those positions, when you time your race accordingly, when they're trying to attack a sub, you're going to be able to get out. You're not exactly done for if you get 0 short-term stamina. And that's a couple things that get kind of lost in translation. So, when we go back, say, into this guillotine, there's a benefit for the defender that the attacker does not have, right? So, as the attacker, I can fake my transition, sure. I can go and fake them all I want. But if he goes and denies my bottom transition or an up transition, depending on his wrestling move level, so depending if he gets a reversal or we just simply deny it and we stay in the position or not. But the thing is, if I go and I fake this guillotine with Charles Oliveira, right? The drain on Oliveira is, is pretty significant, right? I denied his fake, but the drain was pretty good. However, when I'm the person defending in TBS, right, to balance things out, essentially, I'm going to fake this full guard transition. I'm going to fake it. Right, that's going to be a fake. So when I go to fake this full guard transition and Charles Oliveira tries to deny this fake, look what's going to happen to our stamina, right? So I'm going to go and fake this. I'm going to defend it, right? But look at Oliveira's stamina. Look who recovers first. Makhachev is the one who recovers his short-term stamina faster, which means that the game is here is that, well, you throw out a fake and you get the person that's attacking the guillotine, if they're just trying to camp the denial, and all I have to do is fake and get him to deny it, right? My short-term stamina as a defender is going to recover first, and it'll be much easier for me to be able to transition and escape out of the submission. And that's part of the mind games when it comes to the drain that helps people out. So now what we're going to cover is the specific tells in every single position where your opponent is going to go, right? So we're going to start off with the guillotine first, right? Since we're already working with it, we might as well go with it, right? So if Charles Oliveira is trying to go finish this guillotine, the tell is going to be when he's elevating that far side leg, right? He already has one leg low on the hip. The one that's going up and over, that is telling you that he is trying to finish the guillotine. However, if he hooks that foot, right above the knee, slightly above Makhachev, that is telling you this is the down transition, that he is trying to roll you into mount. And that's going to be the tell. For the offensive person looking to deny the person on defense, when Makhachev puts his forearm on the throat of Charles Oliveira, he is going to the left, right? He is going to the left in this position here. However, when he puts his hand on his knees, then he is going to the right. That is the direction that you need to go, right? So this is your tell. If he's moving to his left, he's putting his forearm there in that direction. If he's moving to his right, where you have to deny right, he's putting his hand right above the knee, just slightly above where the knee is against Charles Oliveira. So now one of the questions y'all are going to have: what happens if I'm facing off in this direction, right? Makhachev has the guillotine. What changes? Well, the logic is still the same. He's putting up his leg, right? Then he's going for the guillotine. If he's looking to hook underneath, then that's him trying to transition into a better position into mount. Now here, this is where it gets kind of tricky as the person defending. You have to pay attention to the cue. So now, if he's going to go full guard, it's going to be to the right. Look where he's putting the forearm, right? He's putting the forearm on Makhachev's face. That means I'm going to have to deny to my right if I was Makhachev. If he's trying to go and put his hand on my knee there, right, you know, a little bit above the knee, right to like the thigh area, that is telling me that he's going to the left. And that is exactly how it's going to look like in this position, right? And since we're already here, we might as well keep all the submissions going, right? So some fighters, depending on their move levels, will have access to a counter within here. And this is what we're going to do with Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, you know, it's the same animation, but when he does this instead, he's going to enter a Von Flue choke. So now the submission is his. So what happens if you end up in a Von Flue? Well, for the person that is attacking, right, he's going to turn their hip down. When they're turning their hip down, that is them attempting to finish the Von Flue. If he's trying to transition into a better position, it's a little bit hard to see. It's very tricky. But he's actually kind of going to knee on belly to transition into full mount, right? So very slightly, if you see that animation, he is trying to go to full mount. However, if you are the person who is defending against the Von Flue, right? If you're in the Von Flue and you're trying to deny, right, the person that's defending your Von Flue, if you're going half guard, if this guy's going half guard, very kind of hard to see, right? That's why the Von Flue's kind of going to be hard to get for the most part if the guy's transitioning and racing through, right? When he's hipping out in this direction, right? He's going down to his left hip there. That is the half guard transition. For side control, right? He punches up that underhook up and over, right? To the right. So that means he's going to be going to side control from here. And that's how you work with the Von Flue. So now what happens if we switch the position? The cue is going to be a little bit different, but it's the same thing really, right? He's going to turn his hip down, right? He's turning his hip down to try to finish this Von Flue. If he's going to try to go to full mount, he's going to be sliding up to knee on belly. And if y'all notice, I got this shit a little bit slowed down for y'all so I can get it down, right? Trying to transition the knee on belly to pass into full mount. And if you're the person on bottom, you're going to the right, he's turning his hip in that direction, so he's going to be denying. You have to deny to the right. If he punches in that underhook, right, he's punching that underhook to go to his left, then that's where you'd have to deny if you are the top fighter in this position. Now the beautiful thing about the Von Flue is you can now transition into, say, an arm triangle choke. So we're going to go with Makhachev here and transition into the arm triangle, right? We end up in the arm triangle. And this is where it gets kind of tricky, right? For the arm triangle, when you try to finish, he's palming his hands together. This is telling you that he's trying to finish the arm triangle. So this is, again, every single submission finish is going to be denied with R2 and flicking up on the right stick. For knee on belly, pretty simple. He's putting his knee on your belly. That's going to be down, right? For the person on bottom, right? And this one usually works really well because it's kind of very sneaky. It's very sneaky. When he claps his hands together, he's trying to go to backside, and that's going to be to the left, right? When he claps his hands together, if you guys are facing off to this direction. For sprawl, when he's punching himself through to go to sprawl, right? You can tell his hips are going in that direction, so you're going to be denying to the right. So if we hop on over to the other side with Charles Oliveira, if we go and try to finish the arm triangle, you guessed it, clasping the hands together is him attempting to finish the arm triangle, and knee on belly, pretty self-explanatory, but if he's putting the knee on the belly, that is him trying to transition to a better position. For the person on bottom, trying to go to sprawl, right, he's hipping out to his left here in this position, then you're going to be denying to your left. If he's trying to get the reversal to the backside, he's going to be clasping his hands together, trying to reverse the position, and you'd be denying to your right there. So now we're going to look to transition into full mount with Charles Oliveira, and we're going to look to attack the armbar from here. So when we attack the armbar, right, a cool thing that the person that can transition with the armbar and gets into the dominant position, what they can do is they can strike from here, right? But you have to be careful. If you're striking from here too much and the person on bottom opts to hold R1, they can cook you and use that to get a short-term stamina advantage, and that's going to help them escape. So keep that in mind. So if you're the person on top, right, and you're the person on bottom looking to deny them, the cues are, if he's going, see how he's sneaking the top side hand underneath? That is him attacking the armbar. So like we always say, it's going to be right stick and up for the denial in that direction. If he takes, this is like Captain Obvious. Like he's going to back sitting right here. Like this could not be a more obvious tell that the opponent is trying to go to back sitting. So that's the tell right there. For the person on bottom, this can get really hard because it's actually pretty easy for the person on the top to read. So you really have to utilize those fakes to kind of get out of here if you get put here. He's hipping in this direction to his left to try to get into full guard. That's going to be denied by going right stick and left. If he tries to go to side control, he's moving to his right. Right, it's almost kind of like a hitchhiker escape, right? It's like getting right close to that point. He's gonna go in this direction here to the right. So now, if we attack the armbar on the other side with Makhachev against Oliveira, everything switches, but at the same time, it really doesn't. The tell is exactly the same. You see the hand trying to thread itself through. That is him attacking the armbar. This is the most obvious tell there is in the game, but this is him attempting to go to back sitting. And if you are the person on defense here, right, trying to go for that hitchhiker escape, then he's trying to transition to his left in this position here. Trying to go to full guard, he's turning back into Islam Makhachev. That's telling you that he's trying to go into full guard. So from that armbar, we're going to put ourselves in back sitting, and we're going to attack the rear naked choke in this position. Alright, so the rear naked choke, this is, depending on the entry, when you enter from here, it can be either really easy to escape from here or really, really hard, and yeah, it's not going to be a good time. So, for here, the person attacking the rear naked choke, it's very quick, but it's trying to peel off that hand, right? He's peeling off the hand of Charles Oliveira to make way for that choke. If he's trying to transition a mount, right, he's attacking the lower hand, right? So this can be really tricky, but once you understand this principle, you're going to be like, okay, this is how I denied this in this direction. So if he's going up, right, sticking up, he's attacking the top hand. If he's trying to transition to mount, he's attacking the bottom hand. For the person that's on defense, if you're the person on top, trying to stop them from escaping, right, when that top leg moves, right, it's pushing down on that bottom leg. That is going to be them trying to transition to the left. When he's attacking the hands, if he's attacking the hands, that means that he's trying to go to full guard, and that is the direction for those denials in this position. Now, if we switch the positions around, same concept applies. Even though we ended up here, if Oliveira starts to attack the top hand, he's trying to finish the rear naked choke. If he's going to mount, he's going to be attacking the bottom hand. If Makhachev is attacking, if he's attacking that bottom foot, that bottom hook foot, right? He's attacking here, he's trying to go to half guard. If he's fighting the hands here, that means he's trying to push into you into full guard, and it's going to be denied by going to your left with the right stick. So it's going to be right stick to the right to deny this, and right stick to the left to deny this. So now we're going to look to attack the triangle choke from full guard, right? So we enter the triangle choke. Okay, so he's throwing the left leg over. Doesn't matter. Really, like, this toe is kind of easy to see too. When he's attacking the triangle choke, so this can be denied to going R2 and up on the right stick. When you see that leg lift up, that is telling you that your opponent's trying to finish the triangle choke. If he tries to hook his hand underneath the leg of the person defending the transition-based system, then that means that they're going to mount. They're looking to transition to a better position. For the person that's on defense, right? This is their transitions, and this is how to deny them from the triangle. When he's stepping out to his left, he's going to his left. He's going to backside. He's trying to go over in this direction. So you're going to deny that with the right stick, going to the left. For half guard, very easy to tell to read. He's going to your right. Right? He steps out that leg to that side, then that's where you're going to be looking to deny. Be aware though, even right here, this animation the same, but there's a chance that your opponent can also try to attack an arm bar and switch off from the triangle. Now if we end up on the other side here with the triangle choke, same thing. He brings that leg on top, that means he's trying to finish a triangle choke. He's trying to thread the hand underneath, that means he's trying to transition into the mount position. The person escaping, very simple. If he's trying to go to his left, he's going to be stepping out to your left side on the screen. If he's going to the right, he's stepping out to your right side of the screen, and you're going to be denying to the right. So we only have about 3 more submissions to go. So we'll go from here. Deny that transition. Notice that we got a pass from there. So that's kind of the cool stuff that we'll have in a different video. But we'll have from here in this position, right? On top and on bottom, I can attack a Darce choke from here. Right? So be aware of that. Both guys can attack a Darce from here. So we'll go with the top side entry. This Darce choke is going to be very, very dangerous because this one has some pretty hard animations to read. But once you understand the principle behind it, you're going to understand. When your opponent is sinking himself closer to your hips, with the Darce choke, they are trying to finish the Darce choke, right? If they're opting to use this to transition into back flat, they're throwing that leg back, right? So they throw that near side leg back, and that means you have to deny right sticking down. For the person on defense, when they start this, you see how tricky that is? It's very, very tricky. See that hand throw up right there in the middle? It's very, very, very sneaky. But they're going to north-south when he's traveling in that direction. For side saddle, right? If he's going to deny to the right from this position with the Darce choke, it's going to be him basically locking his hands together, and that's telling you to deny to the right. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but for north-south, there is no locking of the hands here in this position. So you're going to deny to the right stick to the left. If he's trying to go side saddle, he's locking his hands, and you're going to be denying right stick to the right. So now the position has flipped, right? And now we're on the other side. If he brings his hips in close, he's trying to finish this Darce choke, okay? Bringing in the hip, you're going to deny R2 and up. He throws that leg back. He's throwing that leg back. Then he's trying to go to back flat. You're going to deny that with the right sticking down. Person on defense, if he locks his hands together in this position right here, that is right stick to the left. Alright, you see that? He's locking his hands together, so that is right stick to the left. If he's going north-south, and he's throwing that hand up in that direction, you see that tail right there? He's throwing that hand up in that direction, then you're going to be denying right stick to the right. So from here, we're going to go and try to transition to north-south because there's a nice entry from here. And we're going to attack the Kimura from here. The Kimura, of course, where you enter from depends on how strong this is. So this can be really good to reverse position or really hurt yourself and give your opponent a chance to reverse if you don't know how to deny from here. So with the Kimura, right, when he starts to walk towards the head, he's walking towards the head. That is telling you that he's trying to finish this Kimura. All Alright? He's walking towards the head. That's going to be right sticking up to deny the submission attack. Knee on belly. He's pulling. Right? The tell is that he is pulling you. Right? To try to transition to a better position. Right? So that's going to be right sticking down. For the person on bottom. Right? When he hits from this angle right here. So he throws his hand up to the side of there and he hips out in this direction to the left, then you're going to be denying to the left. Now for backside, if he's moving to his right, this is where it gets tricky. You see how it's kind of tricky. It's a little nuanced thing. But the difference is, it's a much stronger hip out, right? Both legs are kind of kicking out and through. Whereas in backside is really one leg. The bottom leg is telling you that this is him going to backside. And that's where you'd have to deny to the right. So in this case, for full guard, both legs are, the knees are still bent, and that's telling you that he's going to full guard. However, if it's only one leg that extends itself, that is telling you that your opponent is going to backside. So now, if we end up on the other side right here for the Kimura, same thing applies. He's walking towards the head. Walking towards the head. That is him trying to finish the Kimura. If he's trying to go to knee on belly, he's pulling that through. He's pulling that hand through that has the control, the hand that he has control with. That's telling you that he's going knee on belly, so that's right sticking down to deny that. If he is going backside here, right, he's going to the left, it's only one leg that's extended, right? It's one leg that's fully extended, and that's backside. If it's full guard, both knees are still bent, and that's going to be to the right. He's kind of hipping out that direction, but both knees are still staying bent here with the Kimura escape for the person in the bottom position. Now we're going to enter leg locks, alright? We're going to enter the leg locks. We're going to do it from backside sub. Roll the leg through. Now, for some guys, I don't think Makhachev has it, but some fighters that have heel hooks at a specific level, if you hold L2, the leg lock option will be available for them to reverse position. This is backside 50-50, right? So, for the person attacking the leg lock here, when they're trying to, collapse on that heel, that is telling you that they're attacking the heel hook. When they're kind of releasing the heel, right? They're releasing the heel. You see this? That is telling you that they're going to transition to side control, and it's going to be right stick and down. For the person in the sub position, you can strike from here. You can strike from here. I think this could be a little bit faster, but that's just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Right? It could be a little bit faster. But for the person escaping, right? When he posts that near side hand down, that's going to be the backside transition. So you'd have to deny that right stick to the left, right? R2, right stick to the left. When he goes and takes that far side hand, so when I'm saying far side hand, the hand on the far side, he brings that hand down. He's going for the get-up transition. And that is when you're going to deny it with the right stick to the right. R2, right stick to the right. And you're going to be denying that get-up transition. Now, if we switch off the camera angle, if he's looking to finish the heel hook, same thing applies. He's collapsing down on that heel, so that's going to be the right stick and up. If he is going to side control, he's releasing the heel. He's releasing the heel, getting ready to go and try to transition into side control. For the person on defense here, near side hand means that they're going to backside and you're going to deny that, going right stick to the right. If they're going with the far side hand, that's going to be the get up transition and you'd have to deny it, right stick to the left. So that's the far side arm that's posting, and that's telling you that he's trying to go for the get up position. So that's what you guys get, right? This is the transition based subsystem guiding you through the visual cues so you guys know how to deny in each position depending on where you end up on the octagon. All right, so take your time in practice mode, figure out where you need to deny, figure out your strategy of how you're going to use cooking, how you're going to use your fakes to drain your opponent. That's all going to be a part of the mind games when it comes down to the transition based system on UFC 5. And I really can't wait for y'all to get access to this. It's gonna be fun and games, right? Especially when it comes to the racing. Even if Charles Oliveira is looking to drain my stamina with the R1 mechanic and he's gonna go for this submission, right? When I go and I race it with this getup, both have 0 short-term stamina, I'm still able to escape And that's just one of many things you guys are going to learn when you guys are playing UFC 5. This is Romero17. Hopefully you guys appreciate this video. We'll have plenty more coming for you. I'm out of here.